Just going to, there, okay, you can hear us, great.
Yes,
we were just talking about pangolins being the world's most trafficked mammal, and I wanted to ask what makes their scales so valuable to some people?
Yeah, their scales sadly are viewed in traditional Chinese medicine as having certain powers, maybe to do to assist with arthritis or fertility, or as an aphrodisiac. Their scales are made from keratin as per human fingernails, so unfortunately, there's no scientific proof of any medicinal properties, but obviously that continues to make them appealing to a certain audience in an Asian marketplace.
And they're now endangered, aren't they?
They are, that's right. There are 8 species of pangolin, 4 in Africa and 4 in Asia, but all pangolins or species are endangered, and sadly 3 are now critically endangered.
As we said, the leaders of this global gang have now been convicted. They're called the top of the pyramid, but how effective will that be in actually breaking up the pangolin trade?
Yeah, the pangolin trade and the wildlife trade as a whole is worth $23 billion a year. It's the 4th biggest illegal trade in the world. So unfortunately, while this is a fantastic seizure, fantastic heist to capture these key people, there's still a hell of a lot of work to do out there. But shouldn't be underestimated that getting these key people at the top of this syndicate is absolutely fantastic. Very rarely do you see people of this kind of status convicted. It's very rare to get convictions. There's a lot of disruption in the trade, but that's what makes this individual case so exciting.
So corruption is one major driver of wildlife crime. Tell us how that happens.
Yeah, so in the source countries, particularly in West and Central Africa, such as Nigeria, where this case happened, sadly, corruption within governmental departments, within crime organizations that fight crime is endemic within the system. So often disruption happens, maybe seizures are made or arrests are made, but getting people convicted, getting them taken out of these syndicates is proving particularly difficult in this instance. So corruption internally is something we're constantly fighting against in some of these countries, even just to get the good work that's being done to bear fruit for us.
And Roddy, what kind of enforcement mechanisms do you think are needed?
It's really working together with a lot of NGOs, with a lot of international groups. At the organization that I work at, the David Shepherd Wildlife Foundation, we view it as a kind of source transit demand issue. So we're looking to work with those source countries to try to prevent species such as pangolins being taken out of the wild. We're looking to break up transit routes, which are often, in this case, from West Africa to Southeast Asia to countries like Vietnam and Malaysia. So we're working on the ground with organizations there to break up those transit routes, which often occur via boat, by sea. And then we do demand reduction work within the demand countries such as China and Vietnam to try to help people there understand the value of pangolins to their ecosystems around them.
Right, just quickly, David, just to follow up on that, are people in those countries aware of what it takes to get those products?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Are people in those countries aware of what it takes to get those products?
No, I don't believe they are, actually. I think people there's very little known about pangolins as a species, so people don't really know how many there are in the whole. We believe probably 80% of them have disappeared over the last decade, which is pretty staggering.
Wow.
But I don't believe people on the ground do understand the scale of the problem and the cost of the species and other species within that ecosystem.
Right.